Welcome to Landria Anka on YouTube, here to help you break through fears and live an awesome life. Yeah, I just laugh. When we get rid of these bodies, I shouldn't say get rid of them, when we are done with these bodies and we go to the other side, if you're in a more awakened state, a higher frequency, there's just constant laughter. I mean, everything's funny. I mean, I've been in that space where everything is funny. I mean, even situations that people are upset over, it's sort of funny because it's not really real, and only humans attach negative emotions to experiences that higher beings find of value. I hope that makes sense. I want to talk in this video about non-judgment. Now, I have discussed this before. This keeps coming up. So I really want to have a nice talk with you. Non-judgment is non-judgment. There's no judging a little here and not judging here. Non-judgment will set you free. What is non-judgment? It's what we get from the source. The higher frequency you get, that goes away. The one source gives us unconditional love. If there was judgment coming from the ultimate source of which we come from, we are a part of, we'd be in big trouble. Now, I know traditionally we've been told, and I'm telling you, we're going to start shattering the big lies. The big lies are everything we've been told and learned. Unless somebody told you you're limitless, beautiful, perfect being, everything else is a lie. There's some kind of lie in there, right? I'm talking about the traditional way of learning, religions, all that stuff. I'm not saying every component of that is a lie. I'm telling you that our society, us as human beings, have been living a lie of what we should be doing, of what we're allowed to talk about, all of the restrictions, what we tell our kids they should and shouldn't be doing, and then we judge each other. We'll think that we've got all that, we know all that, and then we sit and judge somebody else because maybe they don't believe what we do or they're not as enlightened as we are. I'm telling you right now, judgment is judgment. You're in non-judgment or you're crossing all those lines and you haven't gotten there yet. You get to make this decision. It's just come up so many times because, and it's like, oh my gosh, I just want to grab some of you and shake you and say, read your own comments. Read your own comments. We all do it, by the way. We are in this denial, this fog where we don't even hear ourselves speaking. It's like having faith. You can't have faith here and not here. That's hope. You either have faith or you don't. And most of us don't have ultimate faith. That's very difficult because there are always going to be circumstances that we doubt if we are worthy or if it'll ever happen or if things will ever change for us. And to have total faith is when everything shifts. Non-judgment comes with that. Total faith is when you let go of everything and you just know that there are no limits and that everything's going to work out great and that you will not only receive the things that you desire, but probably something better. If we can release that and not name it so specifically. It's tough to do. I want this and this is how it's going to come here. We're just control freaks in the most limiting way. So what is non-judgment? All right, I had this whole conversation with one of my viewers who's just this beautiful, loving person who says, what about Hitler? And I did a video on that. We think that we know what good and bad is. Let me just share with you that we're already judging what is good and bad before we're even looking at the person and what they're doing. So I did a video, and my question was to you, at what point do we draw the line about what's good and bad? Because it's a moving target for everybody. Like I said, if I have a glass of wine, somebody might say I'm going to hell. Somebody else may say, oh, that's good for you. There's all these judgments and rules going on. Let's get rid of them, people. Let's throw them out. There's a judgment that somebody who is homeless, by the way, I'm working with the homeless people now. We're doing some really cool stuff to really help them, give them the tools, but we're allowing them to make their own decisions. Now, here's the deal. We're making judgments about their life and how they should live it, or if they're happy or not. And I want to tell, oh my gosh, my cat almost knocked this thing off. I want to tell you right now, it is not us to judge who or what they are, where they are spiritually, if they're happy or not, if they chose that life or not. Of course they chose it. We do. We all choose everything. Get that out of your head. There's nothing random in this universe. Nothing. Including if you don't choose. If you don't choose, you're still making a choice to not choose, which means you're allowing whatever to come to you according to what you're believing and thinking at that moment. Non-judgments means non-judgment. It will free you. That means you don't make a decision of what somebody is and if it's good or bad. And I'm going to do a video right after this called You Cannot Make a Mistake. We're here to experience. Humans seem to have to name everything. Naming. I need to have a name. We have to name this. What is that tree? Let's give it a name. What is that person? We're going to describe that person and give it a name. Put it in a box. We put everything in a box. And that's what judgment is. We're putting things, people, situations in a box. Judgment. You've probably heard the story, somebody wins the lottery. And, oh my God, I gotta get rid of this because my cat is sitting right here. He's getting way too comfortable in this house. He's a stray kitty. So let's say you win the lottery and somebody says, oh, that's good. And then you say, well, we don't know if it's good or bad. And then you buy a Ferrari because you have all this money, and then you get in a car crash. And if you hadn't won the lottery, you would have never done that. And so he says, oh, I'm so sorry, that's bad. And then the person says, maybe, maybe not, right? And then while you're in the hospital, your house falls off over a cliff. There's an earthquake and it falls over a cliff, and if you would have been there at that time and died, and you're in the hospital now recovering, and somebody says, oh my gosh, what a wonderful, good thing that ended up to be, right? And you say, maybe it's good, maybe it's not, And it just goes on and on and on and on. I probably told that story really badly, but you get the point. We don't know. Let's say you get a divorce. You go, oh God, and everybody goes, oh, poor you and whatever. And we want to find an enemy there somewhere. This is bad. He's bad to you. She's horrible. Quit judging. You don't know. You don't know the situation, what's involved, why these things happen, and why they happened in the first place. Sometimes you just need to move on. Sometimes you learn lessons in there. No, you always learn lessons. Hopefully you're learning lessons. You learn your lesson and there's something else you need to move on to, but we fight that all the time, don't we? We fight it. Oh, we want to stay in this place and stay here, and we want everybody to have their homes and families and be happy. I don't want that. What if I don't want that? And somebody thinks, oh, well, you know how many times I've heard people say, why aren't you married? You're such a catch. Maybe I don't want to be married, right? Maybe that person wants to live on the street. By the way, there are a lot of them. They don't want anything to do with the help. They're very happy bucking the whole system and going, screw you guys who are working yourselves to death, unhappy in these jobs and fighting to pay your mortgages and, you know, all this other stuff that goes, they don't want those lives. Can we be okay with that? Yes, we should offer our help to others who want the help. That's part of this exchange of compassion. And we're learning through that. Sometimes people choose other lives so that they can be the person that we can show compassion toward. And they chose that role. Oh my God. Silly cat. All right, so can you drop the judgment? You do not know. You do not know if something is good or bad. Let's stop calling something good and bad. Now I'm going to use those terms loosely because we have the English language and of course we have to communicate certain things, but we are not in a position to judge. Like I said, Hitler. Hitler. Hey, listen, nobody, I guarantee you, Hitler never put one Jew into a concentration camp. Personally. There was somebody else who had to do that. And if there are not other people going along with the negative, lower frequencies, then it's not an issue, right? Can we stop judging everything? It will set you free in a way that you never imagined. And trust me, we're doing it all day. We're judging things pretty, ugly, good, bad. All you need to know is how you're feeling and how you want to feel and how you can change that and that you have the power to do that. Focus on you and be a service to everything and everybody around you in the most positive way possible. Not in a controlling, I'm going to tell you you're wrong, what I want is right. Chuck it out the window. You're messing up your brain and your energy by all of this garbage and these judgments you're making about other people and yourself. Some of you guys are so tough on yourselves. Non-judgment will set you free. And it's something all of us have to work on every single day. We've all done it. Somebody maybe in the store next to you, looking a little rough, you might back off a little bit. You have no idea. Now, yes, we as human beings have these automatic protection systems in. Man with gun walking down the street acting crazy, right? Probably should not be around him. But you don't have to judge that. I know it's going to be tough. I know this is crazy stuff, right? But trust me, it is possible to not judge it. Byron Katie was held up, I think, with a knife. She's a spiritual teacher, held up with a knife. And this guy, I think, was robbing her, and he had the knife on her. And she didn't judge it, or him. And she had total peace, and she said to him, "You don't want to do this. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be good for you because there's another way." And she got to him. And he didn't harm her. And he realized that was a turning point for him, that he could take a higher path, one that would be positive. She was ready to allow that to happen and go to the other side if he made that choice. But she was his turning point. She said something to him in total love and peace, not fear or judgment, that allowed that man to make a higher choice. So, you never know who you're talking to. You don't know what their path is or how it's serving them. judging that somebody is in a bad place and they need to change their circumstances may be the worst possible thing for them because they need to learn certain things and make their own choices. Just drop the judgment. That means with our family members, oh my gosh, we're horrible with our family members. You know, he's this, she's that, they said this, and there's this concept. And you're doing the same thing when you're, fighting them. Stop fighting it. Give up the judgment. And you'll find out that there will be no conflict anymore. Because you're not sitting there sending that negative energy to that person that you think you're right or you think you're better. And by the way, that's what judgment is. That my thoughts are right and that what I think, how I think things should be is right. That's what judgment is. I like this, this is right, that shouldn't be that way, that shouldn't be that way, you're bad, you're good, blah, blah, blah. So you either judge or you don't. You can't just say, well, I don't judge people, but that guy, he's bad. Judgment. See if you can go a day without judging and catch yourself at how many times you're judging all day. I don't mean about looking at something and appreciating and feeling beautiful. Those are feelings. Those are you connecting to things. A positive energy, a person comes in the room, they make you feel wonderful, you connect with that. You don't have to have any thoughts behind that. Oh, this is a good person. That's a judgment. You don't know what that person does when they walk out of the room. You could go home and beat up their spouse. That stuff goes on all the time. And we shouldn't judge that either. Just accept things. And you will find that you will not be using up massive amounts of energy to think about this stuff that serves no good purpose, that you really don't have the answers to anyways. Oh my God. Are you going to be in my scene? All right. Scene stealer. All right, so I want you to just think about this briefly and catch yourself all day and realize that if you just release it, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough because you're going to fight this. I know a lot of you are going to go, well, I should judge. I'm not talking about making decisions based on what you do and don't want to be around or communicate with, or, when you see a situation and you can be helpful. I'm not talking about that. Those you can function perfectly fine, but don't make that judgment. You do not know. You will never know the meaning behind anything you're seeing and where that goes and where that came from ultimately, or why that person's in that situation and what they need to learn or what they need to do. And it's up to us how we react to these things. If we go along with certain things, that's why I said, you can judge Hitler all you want, but there would never be a Hitler if there wasn't a follower of a Hitler. So let's not judge that. That's a lower energy. That person came in to experience something, and it could have very well turned completely around had it not been fueled by other lower energies who went along with that. So lest you judge one person, you will be judged too, because we share that collective consciousness and that energy, and we are a part of that energy. And when we work on this and this, all that starts to change. So focus on you and ask yourself if you're judging. Because guess what? There's somebody out there judging you going, oh, you're a bit... You watch those spiritual channels, oh, that woo-woo stuff, you're crazy. And it just goes on, right? And you, oh, no, I'm a good person. I'm a spiritual person. And then you turn around and judge somebody going, oh, but they're doing this and this. It never ends. It never ends. Let's do it. Drop it. Catch yourself. Oh, my God, it's so freeing. It's so freeing. doesn't stop you from making your own positive decisions for yourself. And I'll guarantee you later on down the road, you'll look at some of those decisions and realize they weren't as great as you thought they were, but at the time that's what you needed to do. We're all transitioning. And we can accelerate that by releasing judgment. It is a negative force in the collective consciousness that separates us. Judgment separates us. If you can think of it that way, it will turn you around. What's your mantra? I am whole, I am perfect, I am strong, I am powerful, I am loving, I am harmonious, I am happy. Thank you to the One for guiding me to my enlightenment, for my experience here. Thank you for guiding me to be a positive force in this world. Namaste.